Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here, and in this video we're going to be talking about Agartha and the Fae. Now, looking into a lot of what has been disclosed pertaining to the Argothan races, whether it be the Anshar that Corey Good has talked about, whether it's been the Delphi, to which I have personally interacted with, or whether it be many other different beings. There are all different types within the inner earth, practically within the millions or even billions, as it relates to different races, their own territories, their own forms of cultures. All of that exists. And then, of course, we have the Fae. And with the Fae, we basically have countless beings. Some that may look very human, some that may look completely non-human, some that may actually look like apparitions, some that may represent almost like sparkles or orbs, glitter in that way, can also represent energies of the Fae. Beings, again, that feel translucent, some who may almost represent some type of animals, right? We look into a lot of the aspects of lore pertaining to unicorns, pertaining to Pegasus, the griffin, etc. All of these can represent Fae beings as well, of course, the dragons. But if we basically take the aspect of the Fae, and we take the aspect of the Argothans, and bring them together, well, is this actually saying something? Could it be that many of the inner earth beings represent the Argothan Fae? And the answer would be yes. Basically, many of the Argothans that exist here on the planet are indigenous to the Earth. From what we know of the Fae, they too have stated that they are indigenous to the Earth. And so we can look that the Fae, upon the surface of this Earth, existing in fairyland, are caretakers, are custodians, and are stewards as it relates to the Earth energy. And then, of course, looking into the inner earth energy relating to the Argothans, that they do have cities, that they do have habitats existing within these deep caverns, these deep vaults of the earth, that they use crystal technology. Many of them are also purists, and they would not ever think of mixing their genetics with other races. While many of the Fae are also the same as well too. They too can be purists. Not all of them, but many of them can be purists and would not think about mixing their own genetic code together with others. But there have been certain offshoots as it pertains to the Fae that have come into the human world, have interacted with other people, and have been able to create offspring, to reproduce offspring that is part human and part Fae. And we can look at that as the Fae Hybrids, or elf hybrids, many different types of hybrids. Has this actually happened within Agartha? It certainly is quite possible. There are those who have been able to exile themselves from the Argothan inner earth, and may also be with us right now, who have been able to reproduce with humans, being able to have their own mates, and perhaps even married, and of course having these Argothan hybrids as well too. But basically, it is very, very possible that the connection to the Agartha and the connection to the Fae do have a lot of mixture within our own population, with our own humanity, civilization as well. And that the Fae and the Agartha are basically one. That when we're looking at the Argothan beings, they are the Fae of the underground. They are the Fae of the inner earth. And so what that means is that they are the fair ones. They are the ones who are able to put Earth first. They're able to look after the inner habitats. Even when we start to go into fairyland, for those of us who have been able to go into meditation, who have been able to open up our hearts, and we go into fairyland, we will notice that there are caves, caverns, that you can actually go into to enter fairyland. And fairyland has all of these beautiful beings, whether it be fairy, whether it be elemental, whether it be small folk, etc. But they too exist within these catacombs, these caverns. And of course they have a surface reality just like we do, but again, they can also go into the inner earth. And so much of the surface Fae and the Agarthan Fae can, again, intermix. It's all part of the fair ones being able to interact in that way. So how about this? Would it be possible, in looking into the idea of the Delphi, of the Anshar, of many other beings existing within the inner earth, that could be seen as Fae rather than extraterrestrial? It's not to say that there aren't beings within the inner earth who aren't extraterrestrial. There have certainly been a lot of colonies. There's been a lot of bases, monitoring stations existing within the earth for millions of years, far before humanity came along. But could it actually be possible that what we're looking at in regards to the inner earth beings, from the Delphi, from the Anshar, from many other races, that they could all be part of the Fae as well? And if so, this would make perfect sense. It is known that the interior of our planet, the inner earth, represents that of a fourth density matrix, and that we're looking at a honeycomb earth, as Adronis has called it also, a cluster earth, that everything is basically pockets. It's like a honeycomb. It's like honey cells. And these particular vaults that exist can basically be excavated and then again created into these interior cities, these giant caverns. When I went into the Delphi region, again, it was absolutely beautiful. It looked like you were standing on the surface of the earth and just looking at all of this land. And of course, there's really no particular image or illustration that's available that could really accurately describe what I saw. But again, it was very similar to like how you would see Sweden and seeing all of this open land, but then you would have like these huts. You would have these crystals sticking out of the ground as well too. You would have these temples, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And again, it looked like you were standing on the surface of the earth when this was all interior. This was all inside. And so again, this represents a very similar feeling to fairyland. And fairyland, again, we have the feeling that it looks like our nature multiplied 1,000 times as it relates to beauty. The beauty is just absolutely amazing, and it is very surreal. You're looking at all kinds of nature that moves, that walks, that's very animated. You're looking at majestic rainbow waterfalls. The sky just looks absolutely magnificent. You know, it's very, very light blue. The water is very just crystalline and pristine. And all forms of creatures are just everywhere, from within the ground, from within the forest, from within the trees, just in between the aspects of what we can understand physical matter to be, which of course is much more malleable there. And again, we can hear similar things pertaining to the Agarthans, where there is everything that is holography, where you can pass through objects, where they basically create everything through holography. But it's all organic technology. There's nothing there that's artificial. So it's another type of Fae. They too live a very, very long time, just as the Fae do. The Fae can live up to 1,000 years, or perhaps even more. And it's well known that much of the Agarthan races can live up to 1,000 years, or again, even more. So this is just pinpointing us into a common relationship as we're looking into the fairy realm and as we're looking into Agartha, that they are basically one and the same, and we're dealing with the indigenous peoples of planet Earth. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Brad Johnson, and I look forward to speaking to you again in another perspective of the now. Namaste, and may it be well with you. Goodbye. Thank you everybody for tuning in to New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Please feel free to visit our website, newearthteachings.com. Private sessions, digital courses, blog, free media, and a lot more. Again, newearthteachings.com. Thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking to you again in the next video. Take care.